Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I'm an alcoholic through and through, and today, by the grace of God, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I couldn't be any more grateful. We want to welcome you to this platform, regardless of what your addiction may be. You are absolutely 1,000% unequivocally welcome here. We support all pathways, your pathway to recovery, and whatever that may look like for you, we're just glad you're here. We're here to help, and we definitely want to make sure that it works for you. If you are local to the Huntington, West Virginia area, tonight we have our crosstalk meeting. I'm so excited about it. At 7 p.m., Pea Ridge United Methodist Church. Pea Ridge United Methodist Church at 7 p.m. If you've never been to our crosstalk meeting, come on down and check it out. You may like it. I think you will, but you may not, and that's fair too. But it's unlike any other meeting you've ever been to. So again, Pea Ridge United Methodist Church in Huntington, West Virginia, tonight at 7 o'clock. I encourage you to come down and hang out with a group of like-minded individuals. So I was running this morning, went to the gym and I was running this morning. And I was, of course, I met Deborah there, by the way. Deborah was there. She decided to take a chance and go to the gym. Meet me there at the gym, so pray for Deborah. She was on the treadmill beside me. No, she did great. But I was running this morning and I was struggling. I was absolutely struggling. My hip was hurting. My legs were kind of sore a little bit. And I was struggling to hit my times. Now, the good news is I still hit my time goals, my mental goals I'd set. But I was thinking back what a struggle it was. And as I'm running, I started thinking back to all the struggles in my sobriety, my early sobriety. Whenever I got sober, decided to get sober in July of 2021, I think it was like 2 days in, I said, I'm going to start running. And I took off and went running around my neighborhood. Granted, I had to have my daughter drive my truck around behind me to make sure I didn't fall over from a heart attack. My daughter, who is an unlicensed driver, but nonetheless. And I remember that day. I remember that day of trying to run. I remember that day of just trying to make it through the end of the day sober. I remember that day of, all the racing thoughts, all the emotions. Again, your emotions come flooding back to you because you can't hide them anymore. I remember that day, and I remember what a struggle it was. I think I ran one lap, and it wasn't really a run. It was kind of like a run for 5 steps and walk for 2,000 steps or something like that. But at the end of the day, I struggled, and it was an incredible struggle. And this morning, I walked in and just took off running. And so as I'm running this morning, I said, I'm thinking about all this, man, I'm hurting today. I'm struggling. And like I said, I immediately went back to all the struggles. And then I even took a step further and went back to whenever I was struggling while I was still drinking. And yet I would continually repeat that pattern. How many times did you swear off of alcohol? You said, oh my God, it's getting too bad. It's getting too bad. I'm going to have to stop. And you'd make that vow. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to stop drugging. And then you'd go right back into that struggle just a few hours later, even maybe a couple of days, but a few hours later, you would, I can't drink like that, or I can't use drugs like that anymore. I'm going to stop. And you meant it. But then just a few hours later, a few days later, you went right back into that struggle. You went right back into that madness. I can't tell you the number of times I did that. I would swear off alcohol. I would say, I'm never going to drink again, or I can't drink like that anymore. And lo and behold, for me, it was just a few hours later, I was back at the liquor store buying me another bottle of alcohol, buying me another bottle of booze. That's that insanity that the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous talks about. That mental obsession where I would just obsess over getting that next bottle, getting that next drink, getting that next one in me. And that was one of the things I learned coming into the program is I can't put that first one in me. If I don't do that step one, that first step correctly every single day, I'm hosed. There's 12 steps in the they're suggested 12 steps of recovery, and I'm going to screw things up, no doubt about it. But the only step I have to get right is that first step, meaning I just can't put that first one in me. Because if I think I'm struggling now, holy shit, man, I'll be in a lot worse struggles if I put that first one in me, because I'll be going right back to that same lifestyle. I'll be going right back to that same mental state, that fog, that just constant fog just hanging right there, just I can barely see under it. If I think I'm struggling now, no matter how shit my day goes to, how much, how bad my day gets. If I think I'm struggling now, if I put that first one in me, it's going to get a million times worse. And when I was running this morning, granted, I struggled, but man, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the run. Whenever we were done running, I felt great. And so I want to encourage you today. You may be struggling in a particular aspect of your life, but think back to the struggles that you had before you decided to get sober, before you decided to get clean. I remembered back, and again, I was doing it this morning. I remember back to all the struggles I had before. I remember back to all the struggles I had right when I first decided to get sober. And that made me forget about the struggles I was going through today. Think back when you are having a bad day, you just feel like you want to go back to bed and wake up again, start the day all over again. You may not be able to go back to bed per se, but you can start the day over. You can start your day over at any point throughout your day. At any point throughout your day, you can start your day over. And the way I do that is I always think back to those struggles, how bad my life was, all the mental fog, that mental haze. It's easy for me to go back and go, shit, man, you know what? I'll take my struggles today. I'll take my struggles today compared to what I was struggling with way back then. And that's what I want to encourage you today. To, learn your struggles today. First and foremost, they're just temporary. They're only for today, because all we are doing is just focusing on today, right? We're not trying to future trip, think about next week or next month, just focusing on today. So your struggles today are probably going to be temporary. They're not going to last very long. And if you're having problems with your struggles of today, think back to when you were struggling, really struggling before. Maybe when you were sitting in a jail cell. Maybe when you didn't have a place to go to and have a place to sleep for a couple nights. Maybe when you were looking at a judge. And they were reading you your sentence. So whatever struggles you're going through today, first and foremost, I want to encourage you, they are temporary. Secondly, think back, remind yourself of how bad life sucked before you made that decision to get clean and get sober. That's something that I do on a continual basis, and it makes me appreciate the struggles I've got today. So with that being said, I'll let you guys go. I hope you guys have an absolutely kick-ass Friday. Again, tonight's Crosstalk meeting, Pea Ridge United Methodist Church at 7 p.m. Encourage you guys to come on down and hang out with a group of like-minded individuals, a group of drunks and drug addicts, all of us trying to achieve the same result of getting and staying sober. Looking forward to see you tonight. I want to thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys absolutely keep me sober, and I could not be any more appreciative, and I know my family appreciates it too. Encourage you to send in your topics. If there's a topic you'd like to hear discussed, you can email me directly, Drew, D-R-E-W, at recoveryclassroom.org. We'll be talking again soon, guys. Remember, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.